G'day everybody, it's Peps. So excited to bring you tipped outs, round 8 tips for the upcoming round of the greatest sport in the world, AFL football. And we know it's all kicking off tomorrow night at the Radelaide Oval, 7:30 p.m. The Port Adelaide, who haven't had much power, against the Western Bulldogs, who haven't been biting as much as they were in 2021. Going in with the teams, Port Adelaide, no changes at this particular moment. Xavier Dersma has been omitted, so that means the Medi sub will be in. For the Doggies, Anthony Scott is in. Bukaramanis is in as well. Out is Josh Shraki, the Medi sub. The big Bont, Marcus Bontempelli, has been managed, and Mitch Wallis is injured. Congratulations to Sam Powell Pepper, who's playing his 100th game. Now, if you asked me 3 hours ago, who would I have tipped for this one? I would have said the Western Bulldogs, just because they've been playing a little bit better and their forward sort of setup is a little bit better as well too, a bit thicker through the midfield. But with the Bont bigger loss than people realise. Yes, they've still got Waitman. Yes, they've still got the astronaut, but Bont's been going down forward a little bit more recently and adding as a third or a second big forward target down there. Now, without that, it just puts more pressure on Norton and Waitman to kick a bag. And I just think if I look at the two teams, who's been playing better football, I would honestly say Port Adelaide. Now, that's not saying anything against the Bulldogs. I do love the Bulldogs, but I just can't see them getting across without having the Bont there. So I'm picking Port Adelaide to take this one out. And the Jamie, the J-Dog Wallis, he's got his tips in and he's taken the Port Adelaide. He's sticking with his own team to take this one out by 8 points. I actually think it's going to be around about the 15-point mark. So 15 points for me, 8 points for the J-Dog, but we're both going with Port. All right, moving on. This is a double header, but I think the other game is the one that you're going to be watching, because this one could be a bit of a blowout. Yes, it is the Fremantle Dockers versus the North Melbourne Football Club. Fremantle, are they playing some sexy football against North, who haven't been playing much of anything, let's be honest. They've been hit with a bit of injury in terms of COVID this week, Fremantle. So, Blake Acres, Griffin Logue, Lloyd Meek, Michael Frederick, Rory Lobb, and Travis Collier, all out with health and safety protocol. In Hayden Young, Heath Chapman, Jayamis, Liam Henry, and the big boy is back, Sean Darcy. Jayamis in first game for the Dockers. Good luck, big fella. Have a good one, and hopefully you're going to have a win, which I think you're going to have. North Melbourne, Aiden Core, Ben Mackay, Jed Anderson all back in. Aiden Bonner injured. Jack Marnie omitted. Miller Bergman injured. And Nick Larkey for his tunnelling has been suspended. Omitted. Same thing. One's forced, one's not. Fremantle by the length of the Flemington straight here. The J-Dog has actually gone by Fremantle by 10 goals. Will it be 10? I don't know. I reckon North will have a bit of a crack here. They'll be more on the defensive side of things. I don't think they can win it, let's be honest. But I will say, I reckon it will be around about maybe the 8-goal mark. So I'm not going as big as 10. I'm going 8 goals. So 6 8s are 48 points. Get over the 39.5-point margin and slop that one into your multi. But remember, gamble responsibly. All right, now we're starting to get into the good stuff. Here we go. Saturday, May 7, 1:45 p.m. at the home of football, the MCG. The Richmond Tigers versus the Collingwood Magpies. And if Eminem was here, he'd be back again. Dusty's back, tell a friend. The big boy, the 3-time Norm Smith medalist, Dusty Martin, is back for the Tigers. And my goodness, do they need him. Trent Conchin is back as well too. Jack Ross omitted. Riley Collier, Finn Dawkins omitted. And Sydney Kebab Stack has been omitted as well. So, big changes for the Tigers, but 2 massive ins. In for the Pies, Oliver Henry and Trent Bianco. Calamari Brown has been omitted. Jack Madgen omitted, interestingly enough. And Reef McInnes is the medical sub. It's as simple as this. Collingwood have been playing sensational footy over the last few weeks. Richmond have been very, very disappointing, but their win last week against West Coast, you can only beat who's in front of you, was a great confidence booster for you. But I'm actually going with the Pies. The Pies are just playing a bit better football. They're going to be a bit younger in the legs. They've got a lot of spunk down forward. Darcy Moore controls the back line. They're in a great spot at the moment. Fly McRae has been magnificent for that mob, and they are playing for him. Henry and Bianco are just going to slot straight in, and it's going to be an overwhelming success. I'm picking Collingwood to win by at least 5 goals on this one. The J-Dog has actually gone Richmond by 20, so we're at odds about this game. Dusty will be a big in. We know that. But I just think Collingwood are going to be too strong and, more importantly, too fast for Richmond. Sydney Swans versus the Gold Coast haven't been shining too much suns. SCG 1:45 p.m. Interesting, 2 games starting at the same time. Once again, good scheduling AFL, you putzers. Logan McDonald in, and great to see Paddy McCartan. At one stage, people were saying that it would have been almost career-threatening, his head knock a couple of weeks ago, but he's back in, which is great. Harry Cunningham is injured, James Bell medi-sub, and Sam Reid omitted. In for the Suns, Rory Thompson, Will Powell, Alex Davies, interestingly enough, omitted. Darcy McPherson omitted, and Jeremy Sharp omitted as well. So it looks to see that Stewie has been swinging the axe a little bit. Just hasn't gone with some big names. He's gone for some low-hanging fruit there. I think Isaac Rankin is very lucky to be keeping his spot because he's been very average over the last number of weeks. Sydney Swans, they've just got to win this. They know what they've got to do. I would say a minimum 5-goaler for this one. The Suns have been playing bad football, but as we know, when it starts to get into the colder months, they don't tend to perform. And I can't see it happening, unfortunately. I can't see the Swans beating. I can't see the Suns beating the Swans on this one. So I'm going by 5 goals. J-Dog has also gone by a similar margin of 50 points. He's gone 50 points. So that's going to be another win. So slap that one in your multis as well too. Rightio. This is an interesting game. This could be the second best game of the weekend. But for the point of, is this the start of the decline? Geelong Cats versus the Giants. Massive upset for the Giants last week when they beat Adelaide. They have not made a change. Matt de Boer is out as the Medi sub. But have a listen to this. Cooper Stevens in for his first game. Good luck, young fella. Francis Evans is in. Danger's back, and Quinton Narkle is in. But this is what I want you to have a look at. Joel Selwood out injured. Luke Dalhouse out. Doesn't really make much of a difference. Max Holmes injured. Oliver Dempsey omitted, and Sean Higgins injured. Having the big boy out, Joel Selwood is hard for the Cats. He is their hard grunt in that midfield. Yes, Danger comes in, but Joel leads by example. And I reckon GWS, having Toby Green back, they performed out of their boots last week. And at home, we know they play a lot better than away. I'm going with the Giants, and I would say an upset over a highly ranked team as Geelong are. But GWS, they are just a superior team on their home deck, and I'm picking them to win by 4 goals. J-Dog is also going by the Giants, not as much, 15. He says it's an upset, but deep down, if you look at it, the Giants will win and will win comfortably. Rightio, here we go. Is it the line in the sand? Is it the head in the sand? Is it these two teams are playing okay footy, or are these two teams battling for a final 8 or a bottom part of the ladder draw? I know one team is and one team isn't. It's the traditional rivals of Essendon versus the Hawks. Good to see the AFL's fixturing again. Have set this one at Marvell Stadium, 7:25 p.m. so everybody can watch this prime time on Saturday evening. Great way to spend your night watching Essendon play football. Nick Bryan is in. Nick Hind is in. Great work, young man, going in for his 50th game. The stringer is out. Kane Baldwin is out. Nick Cox is out for the Hawks. The hyphen, he's back. Denver, Granger, Barras, Harry Morrison and Josh Ward, all in. Connor McDonald, Connor Nash, both being managed. Danny Howe, the Medi-sub, and Liam Shields have all been managed. And the Chatty Wingard is playing his 200th game. And this will be a cakewalk. Essendon have got a lot to prove, but they're not going to be proving it on Saturday night. I went and watched the other team live last week, Hawthorn. I never thought I'd say this because I couldn't stand him as a player, but Sam Mitchell every single week is really starting to convince me that he is going to be a gun coach. He's probably the only coach so far this year that was able to work out how to trap Melbourne's defence by having a man behind Stephen May throughout the entire game. And they also did something a little bit different as well too by taking risky kicks through the corridor and tagging Egg Langdon on the win. looking at that, he won't have to put as much planning in. Maybe just turning up will be enough to beat the Dons this week. And that's why I am tipping them to win by 5 goals. Again, Hawthorn quite easily. J-Dog is going with a similar type of margin of 30 points as well too. So both of us tipping the Hawks to win that one. Rightio. In my eyes, this here on Sunday, May 8th, Mother's Day. To all the mothers out there, have a great Mother's Day. Without you, we wouldn't be here in more ways than one. For the D's versus the Saints, 1:10 p.m. Sit down with the lovely, grab a cup of tea or a couple of beverages and watch potentially the game of the weekend. The D's, look at this for the ins. 5 premiership players are in. Alex Neil-Bullen, Harrison Petty, Keziah Pickett, Luke Jackson, and Tom Sparrow. And good luck to Bailey Laurie in the squad to play his first game for the D's. Jake Melksham omitted. Joel Smith has been injured with his ankle. Kyle Chandler, the Medi sub, has also been put on ice. In for the St Kilda Saints, Dara Joyce, Rowan Marshall, Ryan Burns, and Zach Jones. Couple of big ins there, and Jared Leinart has been omitted. Well, they've been saying it. The D's 7-0. Oh, but who have they played? Well, this is going to be their first test. But I'd also look at this and go, have a look at St Kilda. Who have they really played as well too? There's going to be matchups all over the ground here. The midfields are just as strong as each other. Battle versus Petrarca. Steele versus Oliver. Marshall versus Gawn. Ryder versus Jackson. Ben King against Stephen May. Lever versus Membry. Hey, who's going to be on Snag Higgins? I reckon Jaden Hunt's going to be locking down on him big time. Who's going to be going with the D's in terms of their forwards? Next up, which way are they going to go? Are they going to go McDonald down back or Wiedemann? I'm not too sure. They can't play all three with Brown, so one of those guys will be missing. I just think with the strength of numbers, Melbourne have been planning for this, I believe, to make a statement. They haven't made a statement game all year. Having that 5 come back in is just going to strengthen everything back up, and it's going to make it really different. This is 2 teams that are going to be really hard at the contest, but I just think if Melbourne are able to put a lockdown on King and Higgins, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Saints to be able to kick a winnable score because that's where a majority of their scores are coming from. Melbourne just have a bigger spread of goal kickers, and I think their system is a lot better as well too. So I reckon Melbourne are going to win this one. And interestingly enough, I think they're going to win it quite comfortably by at least 4 goals. J-Dog's actually picked the D's to go and win this one by 42. So he's got more confidence than I am. I'd love for that result to come through, but I just think it's going to be a lot tighter, especially for the first 2.5, maybe 3 quarters, and then Melbourne with their superior fitness will take over at the end. Rightio, last game for the weekend, 4:40 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. It's the Carlton Blues versus the Adelaide Crows. One team was exceptionally disappointing last week, and the other one was Carlton. Jesse Motlop, Jordan Boyd, Paddy Dow, Zach Williams are all in line. Liam Stocker has been suspended. Jesse Motlop, congratulations for your first game. Ben Davies, Jack Soglio, James Rao, Luke Pedlar, and Will Hamill all in for the Crows. Brodie Smith injured, Matt Crouch omitted. That's an interesting one. His brother seems to be doing okay, and you've basically hit the sofa, Mr. Couch, and Ned McHenry has been injured. Look, it's at Marvel. Carlton are playing better football. Adelaide will not be easy to beat, but I will say, just with Carlton playing at home, I'm not going to spend too much time on this game. When you got Harry Mackay and Charlie Curnow playing career best football, the two of them, and when you've got Paddy Cripps on his way to win a Brownlow at the moment, they're going to be hard to stop. So Carlton at home, they'll continue their winning ways. But don't be surprised if Adelaide throw this one up right until the end. I don't think it's going to be close, but I reckon Carlton will just inch their way out towards the back end of the game. And Jamie, he's also gone a similar type of route, and he is saying Carlton to win this one by 4 goals. So there's your tipped out tips for a massive round 8 of football. Just remember, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. on the Facebook page, Lace Out goes live. So join us, be part of the crew, be part of the show, because it's how you want your footy. And more importantly, to all the Lace Outlaws out there, thank you for tuning in to Tipped Out, because without you, we don't have a show. So all the best. I hope your team wins. Once again, to all the mothers out there, have a great Mother's Day. I'm Peps. That's Lace Out. It's how you want your footy.